Well, we've got one package that arrived today, a couple that arrived over the weekend. I'm just being a bit lazy here. Not even going to try. Getting all the way down there. There we go. This opened. I've obviously got that prepared in advance. I got these. And then I had a couple things arrive over the weekend as well. First up, we'll go with Hunter x Hunter Blu-ray, which I guess because I ordered from what's it called? Ride Stuff. They included that card, which I think is a Hunter card from the series itself. DVD came out, I don't know, a week or two ago. Technically, this had a street date of the same day. I'm guessing stocks are just a little slow, because Ride Stuff tends to ship stuff quick, if they can. Interesting. This I do not recall being in the DVD version. I bet it's postcards. I guess I'm curious, because whatever it is, it's not quite coming out. Whale Island, Airship, Noggin, Luggin, Tortoise. Yep, postcards. It's a kind of a neat thing. The presentation is neat because I'm going to guess that this letter is stylistically very related to what happens in the anime itself. House. I guess I'll slip this in here just because I can. And we will continue going through these as soon as I get this back in. Next up, we've got Juden-chan Recharged Blu-ray. Oh look, this one says it's Region A. I saw Region A on the back of that one, so it's apparently, probably, supposedly, maybe, possibly also region locked. Hold on. The insides are simple enough, but since these are Blu-ray, they're going to be pressed and not burned on demand, I suspect. I haven't taken a close look at my burnable. I think I might have a couple single layer burnable Blu-rays. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Hey, it's Mobile Suit V Gundam, Gundam V, Victory Gundam, whose name I do not know. Come on. Then of course we got. Let's take it. That's one down. This one will also have a sticker, so let's stick to it. Aha. Alright, we've got DVD and Blu-ray versions. I don't know any of these characters. We've got one that's DVD here. Now that looks familiar. Yeah. So disc 2 has the same artwork as the first disc of the Blu-ray. then disc 4, and finally the last disc. It's an interesting choice. Let's see, we've got Region A, and since I do believe this is Collection 2, yeah, there's a big 2 there. It's probably whatever was in the first one, which is audio, Japanese. Nice and straightforward. Is there a Blu-ray? I think that is. We've got To Love Ru Darkness 2. Big problem with this series has just been that I think there's an OVA where some characters were introduced that hasn't been released on DVD or Blu-ray unless I'm mistaken. So I guess I'm kind of waiting to see if that ever resolves itself or if it comes out or something. Because then there's all this content and it's a lot of pink hair now. Actually, that is what's her face, but much younger for some reason. Do I know all the characters here? I'm just wondering about the pink-haired girl. Meanwhile, in the DVD version, it's the same first disc because I recognize all those characters. Don't know about some of those. Same last disc. And this is Region A only, Japanese and English subtitles only. That's all expected. Big Windup 2. So, nice that this came out. Although, I'm going to guess that this is probably subtitled only. I'm pretty sure the first season, Japanese language, English subtitles. The first season, if I remember right, yeah, because I think Greg Aries, I think, played the voice of the catcher. Is that what they call that position? I think that's what they call that position. The person who catches the pitcher's balls and signals information to the pitcher or whatnot. Well, here's Season 2. Although it's been so long since I've seen Season 1, I wonder if I should try going straight into this when I decide to watch it, or if I should just, I don't know. Ergo Proxy! 10th Anniversary Edition, first time on Blu-ray, which is exactly why I bought it. Region A. Audio, we can see English audio. We better see English audio, because this one was, I'm pretty sure, dubbed by Juden-chan when they were still around as an anime distribution company and not... I wonder if they were always owned by Universal Studios or something like that, and Universal Studios just decided, don't need to distribute anime or something. We'll let Funimation do the work for us and we'll just profit. And I did say Region A only, yeah. So, on the inside, episodes 1 through 9, 10 through 18, 19 through 23, plus extras. Which is very interesting because, this for some reason doesn't feel like the normal form factor. I think it's actually pretty good. I like the fact that it's a nice compact release. But, it's interesting. Next up we've got Psychic School Wars, which is in the form factor I would have expected if Ergo Proxy was a movie, right? Looks like this is English dub, Region A only, and there's Blu-ray and DVD version. You know, because this is pretty common. The common, when Funimation uses this packaging, this is usually how they're doing it. Oh gosh, it's falling. Everything's falling apart. There we go. So, like, you know, we got probably the DVD version. I think I see the DVD symbol there. That's hard to get at a good angle, and then a Blu-ray version. Yeah, I think I see the Blu-ray label, or maybe text. Blu-ray movie plus extras, DVD movie. Yeah, that's what we would expect. And I did say this was Region A, right? So it's kind of interesting that Funimation would release this Blu-ray only in the same form factor they would release a movie. It makes a lot of sense, but it's also interesting. And then we have Snow White with the red hair. Funimation release as well, so let's see, it's Region A. It's English dubbed. I'm not sure what to make of this show. It can be hard because, like, who was it? Was it Bones had that period of time where they were making, like, anime versions of a bunch of different stories, fairy tales or something like that? And they felt like they could be, I'm going to say hit or miss, but by that I really mean good or okay, I guess. So yeah, we have the two DVD versions that are red, and then the yellow unreadable ones, which are Blu-ray 1 and Blu-ray 2. Well, there we go. This week's anime DVD collection update. Oh.
So, I haven't quite given up on A Good Librarian Like a Good Shepherd just yet, but it did get slowed down quite a bit this week. I think I might have only watched 1 or 2 episodes, and so far the only real problem with it is it's just very mediocre. I mean, I read a review, but it's like I couldn't help but feel, yeah, this review is capturing exactly what I was thinking as I was continuing to watch it. I was wondering, is it just lowly scored because it's kind of got a weird start? And there's been a small twist, but honestly, I don't expect it to really make that big of a difference in the overall show. You know, it's not like anything's really bad per se, it's just so average, it's mediocre, I guess. Some of the ideas are like, you know, the character designs look okay, but I think the problem is they pretty much only look okay, I guess. It's like, I'm not sure if the characters really feel like characters so much as they feel like they were added to just, you know, be a part of the show, advertise the show or something like that, or just to kind of be smiling faces for the show. And, you know, plenty of people really like that stuff. But it doesn't change the fact that, I don't know, you know, you kind of get that sort of feeling, the kind of feeling I'm trying to convey when the characters have become a volunteer club and they are essentially all constantly smiling while cleaning windows for somebody else whose job I'm guessing it was supposed to be. And, you know, that's not necessarily in and of itself bad, but it's the kind of, I don't know, maybe you understand what I'm saying. I intend to keep at it, try to finish it, but this week got a little distracting because of Halloween. In particular, I decided to rewatch all of Shiki because it is so great. And I'm saying that just because, you know, I also watched it and I really enjoyed, I rewatched it and I really enjoyed rewatching it. It was very nice to just power through it, rewatch all of it. It's a good show. What can I say about it? You know, if you look up the trailer for it, you can probably see, oh wow, this actually does look pretty good. It's got a very unique atmosphere. It feels like a really good example of horror anime, because a lot of stuff, I don't know, it tends to go more, well, we're animating, so they don't necessarily go for the music to kind of create a calm, tense situation. I guess maybe because most audiences don't care about it, or maybe it's Japanese audiences, or Japanese animation watching audiences, or something like that. But Shiki nails the atmosphere, the presentation, the thoughtfulness. It's just a great horror anime, period. Not even a great horror anime, just a great horror, period. I did intend to watch The Goblin Cat, which is the story arc that Mononoke was based off of. And this is not Princess Mononoke. This is a series that's just called Mononoke. And it's from Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales, which had 3 little stories in it. And one of the stories, which is a great one, is the Goblin Cat. But I didn't get around to rewatching that this year. It was, I guess it was busy. But I did rewatch the story arc, my favorite story arc from Ghost Hunt, which is the Bloodstained Labyrinth, which has some, the show itself, I think same author as Shiki, has I don't know, some corny cheesiness to it, but if you get through some of that, it's also one of those really great horror shows. Bloodstained Labyrinth probably being the most notable because, it just explores a very fun concept that I've never really seen that much of. If you've ever heard of the Winchester Mansion, they even mention it in the first episode itself, but it's pretty much based on that sort of idea where basically Winchester rifles, the husband, I guess, invented and sold a bunch of guns. He died early. His wife had the huge fortune from all these guns that were sold, and she was afraid of ghosts from people who had been killed by Winchester rifles coming and messing with her, doing something evil to her or something like that. So she basically kept adding on to the mansion and created a maze so the ghosts couldn't find her in there or something like that. And ghost hunts, they mention it, but they also do their own interesting thing. It's a good exploration of the concept, and that's a fun episode. Not episode, but a story arc. With a little bit of those, oh, that's kind of corny, that is obviously faking something, and there's a build-up that happens kind of in spite of that sort of stuff, but I can't help but think that the author really knows what they're doing because, Shiki is a classic. Outside of that, I guess my time was mostly, I'm not going to say wasted. It got eaten up by the fact that part of my plan for this costume was I was going to wear it to work, which I did, and that was fun. There were other people there dressed as like a giant squirrel, a skeleton, and a tuxedo. There were a couple of fun things there, but I decided, one of the interesting things I would do with the Mario costume, since they had already seen it, or a lot of them had seen it, was I would bring my Wii U in with Super Mario Maker because I had made a couple of those levels. So I was basically trying to make sure I created a couple more levels because you don't want to make assumptions about the skill level of everybody there, so you want easy stuff for people who haven't played a whole lot or need to get back in the groove again. So I have a good simple opening stage, which is a little more involved than any of the ones that they have in their little example thing, so it's good to play with. I saw some of them actually playing that, and so it seemed pretty good. And then I wanted a good introduction to puzzles and some of the puzzle concepts, so I made a simple Yoshi level, and I made an auto-scrolling ghost house, which actually I think is one of my favorite stages. It's just got this fun atmosphere to it. It's neat. I don't know. What else? I had to come up with a couple stuff, and this was over the weekend, and I wanted to make sure I came up with ideas, but not half-baked ones. I wanted to make sure they went there and they did what they were supposed to do. And I think it was actually a pretty good success. So there was a small variety of stages played and selected. Didn't disrupt work too much, which was also what I was hoping for. Just a little bit of somebody dabbles a little here, a little there. So that was actually, I think, time well spent. But outside of that, I guess I've been playing Zelda Triforce Heroes with a couple friends for the past half year, maybe longer. We've just been going through the game, making sure we kind of go through the story together. The only thing we can do apart is really just gather rupees and materials and make the outfits. And honestly, I guess I'm talking about that because I guess this is a good reason to say, yeah, I'm glad that's finally over with, because honestly, it's really not that great of a Zelda game as far as I'm concerned. I think the problem basically comes from Zelda games are something that are about good conveyance, about building up, letting you know what to do and figure stuff out, and you know, just kind of really well designed. You know, sometimes I think a lot of the later Zelda games are enough of that they are not interesting, but Triforce Heroes it wasn't even really brutal. It's like, obviously the final boss had the traditional Zelda volley that a lot of final bosses has, but there wasn't any real build up to learning how to time it right, how to deal with it right. And to make matters worse, I mean, I'm definitely not that great at the game, but depending on the scenario, you know, each of us were maybe slightly better at certain things, but when it comes to timing a volley, I'm not that great, but my friends are a little worse, I guess. I don't know. So, you know, there were frustrating things like that, and there were plenty of situations in the game where it's like, well, I've never even seen this kind of enemy before, and the game just threw half dozen of them at us, and you know, they do some stupid thing which causes you to lose 2 hearts if you're just the one hit, and you all have shared hearts, and so you're figuring out and the 2 friends are figuring out, and basically you go from full health to, oh, well, we don't have any hearts left, because the game doesn't want to build you up to understanding these things. It's unfortunate because a lot of the other parts of the game actually feel pretty well designed. Some of the levels actually were pretty well designed. They actually felt like they appropriately kind of taught you the mechanisms as you went along, but a lot of it was mostly frustrating BS. Like, it's not being very obvious what anybody should be doing, and then it gets even worse when, well, for a brief period of time they're based on the timing. Yeah. So, unfortunately, it's put together well, or it's got great assets. You know, fun graphics, fun music, a lot of fun mechanics in there, but I couldn't help but feel like it was designed by people who kept designing Zelda levels and got too obsessed with making it challenging for them and forgetting that other people wouldn't be going into the game ramping up or something like that. Maybe y'all would have different opinions, but my feeling was I was hoping to have a more Zelda Four Swords experience with my friends, and this is more like, we need to make a 2D Zelda game, and they occasionally took inspiration from Dark Souls or something like that. I've not even played Dark Souls, and oh well. Again, we finally beat the boss after taking over half a year to make a little progress here and there. So that's good. I can't think of anything else really notable to talk about. I watched any movies. I guess yesterday I didn't get any anime watching done because I watched the last half of the last episode of Angel Beats and Anohana, and then I was just kind of an emotional wreck for the rest of the evening. Couldn't even get up until somebody made a good funny joke on the family chat room, I guess. Weird stuff. Oh well. I guess, yeah. I'm babbling at this point, so y'all have a nice week.